The knitted wreath was made from the Super Tough Puff yarn from Knit Picks. And the Super Tough Puff is a jumbo weight yarn. It's super wonderfully huge. But it comes in a hank. What? It's not a skein? No, this is called a hank. And this is a hank. And this is a hank. And what's the difference between hanks and skeins? Well, these are skeins. This is a skein. It's shaped a little different, but it's a skein. And the difference between hanks and skeins is that you can knit right off of a skein. But a hank, you have to wind it first. This goes back to the old-fashioned days when you didn't buy your yarn, you made it yourself, and it was made in a hank. And I remember stories of Laura and Mary in the Little House in the Prairie, where someone would hold the yarn for Ma while she wound it into a ball. And that's what you have to do when you buy it in a hank. You can use a tool called a swift, which holds the yarn up, and then use another tool, which is a ball winder. We have neither one of those in the studio, and so we resort to the old method, which is just fine, and it's dirt cheap. It's free. So let me show you how you do that. Plus, I'm going to show you how to wind a ball so that it pulls from the center and it doesn't roll around on the floor becoming your cat's latest toy. So when you get your hank, it looks like this, and it's really easy to take apart. Just pull it apart and it will fall out into a circle. You'll notice that right here, sometimes there's two places like this. In this skein there's only one, for this hank. There's only one. It's tied loosely to hold it separate and neat. So we're going to get my helper hands here and untie the strands. Then you have to figure out which direction the yarn is wanting to come off of. So I'm going to turn this over because it looks like this wants to come from this back side. So you take the end and hold it in your hand like that, and then you start winding it around your thumb. You're not winding tight, it's loose. And you unwind it from the hank and wind it around your thumb. There's a lot of yarn in this hank, so it's going to take a while. And I'm winding it kind of at an angle for a reason. I'll twist it, that's later on, like just now. And it starts forming a ball. The great part about knowing how to do this is sometimes when you're knitting even a skein, the skein gets unwieldy and it looks messy. You can neaten it up by rewinding the ball around your thumb, and you still have a good center pull, and it's not, the skein won't be, the ball won't be walling all over the floor. This is single ply, so it's kind of sticky. It's sticking to the skein and I'm having to remove it. Sometimes it goes a little easier, but it's not hard, it just takes time. The important thing as you're winding this is that you never let go of that center. If you let go of it, make sure you grab it back, because if you lose this, then you don't have your center pull anymore. So make sure you hang on to that string as you're winding the ball. Remember not to wind tight because the yarn will stretch, and that's not going to be good for your project. You don't want it to stretch. We're nearing the end of the ball. I keep winding. As if this gets twisted, I'll just pull it my thumb out, untwist the yarn, put my thumb back in there, and keep holding on. Don't ever let go of that for more than just a little bit. You don't want it to disappear on you. And you can continue around until there's no more to the hank and it's all on your ball. And then when you're ready to knit, you just start knitting from right here. And it's easy because you're just pulling from the middle. This won't roll around on the floor. No kitty cats are going to attack it. Well, I can't guarantee that. I like to squeeze it when I get done, just to loosen it up a little better. There you go, center pole ball.